So let's get this started. All right, good evening. Welcome to Phi Alpha Delta's virtual initiation and recommitment ceremony. My name is Katie Gibbs. I'm the Director of Operations and Membership at Phi Alpha Delta's International Executive Office. We are excited to be initiating, looks like over 170 new members tonight, with many other members joining us to celebrate and recommit to Phi Alpha Delta. And we want to welcome our new members to the fraternity. I have over 100 chapters represented tonight among pre-law, law, and alumni. We have a few lifetime members here tonight, so thank you so much for joining us. A few quick notes. We are recording this ceremony tonight. If you prefer not to be recorded, you are welcome to stay muted and off video throughout the ceremony. We will be playing a video of our new initiates' names, followed by a reading of a few registrants who joined us a little last minute. If you don't see or hear your name, don't worry. We do have you listed as attending from the Zoom log, and it's only going to be new initiates' names being listed, not our members that are recommitting. Tonight's ceremony gives us an opportunity to feature our 2024 Convention Host Committee, as well as trustees from the P.A.D International Foundation. Both groups play a key part of our upcoming Biennial Convention this summer. We hope to see you in Pittsburgh for the Convention and Leadership Conference. It's being held July 31st through August 4th at the historic Omni William Penn Hotel. And for those of you who are undergraduate or auxiliary members, don't worry, we have an event for you too. This fall is our annual pre-law conference, mock trial competition, and law school expo. It's taking place Halloween weekend, October 31st through November 2nd in Arlington, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. At this time, I'd like to introduce Committee Chair Bethany Nelson Hughes, who will share more about the host committee and our upcoming convention. We are so excited you all are here tonight. Bethany?
Thanks, Katie. I'm really excited to be here tonight, and I'm excited to see so many new initiates. This is my first virtual initiation, and I feel like it's going to be a really great one because we have so many new faces. And I'm equally excited to talk to y'all about convention. So you're joining at an amazing time because we're just going to pass through the summer really quickly, and then we'll all get to be together in Pittsburgh at the end of July into August. And if you haven't been to a convention before, I cannot overstate how important this event is. This will be my third in-person convention. I did get to attend one virtually as well. And I've been to a lot of conventions across the country and across a lot of disciplines, and I can truly say that Phi Alpha Delta hosts one of the best professional conventions that I've ever been to. You get the typical opportunities to fraternize, talk to people, build out your professional networks, but there are a lot of additional opportunities that you get in terms of speakers and panels outside of business meetings. It's incredibly active in the evenings. We have a lot of affinity chapters, so if you have a special interest, chances are you're going to meet other members that have your special interest, and you'll have a place to bond with them outside of just professional connections. And Pittsburgh itself is an absolutely wonderful city. I got to visit back in January. There are over 90 distinct neighborhoods, and we'll be sharing a lot about those on our P.A.D Facebook page, talking about the different things you can see and do and visit when you're not in business meetings. In addition to the city being amazing and the company being amazing, we're truly at a beautiful location. We're at the Omni Hotel. It's a very historic hotel with a lot of rich history. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, every US president has stayed there since it has opened, and they have wonderful history galleries if you needed to fill a little bit of downtime. I will say I know that the travel and the time commitment for convention can be a bit. It's about 5 days. And the first time that I had to take PTO to attend convention, I was a little bit overwhelmed at how much time I would be away. And I will say that if you can't be there for the entire time, we would still encourage you to come for at least some of the days because convention is absolutely what you make it. If you can only be there for 2 nights, that's 2 nights of meeting new people, building out your networks, and having a lot of learning opportunities. As a member of the host committee, as the chair of the host committee, I would love to meet every single one of you there. I will be at every event, talking to as many people as I can, and I would really like the opportunity to see you outside of a Zoom screen and in person. And if you're worried about the cost of convention, because I know over the summer a lot of people do traveling and we have other commitments, I do want to remind you that grants are due tomorrow. So if you're a student or a new alumni, if you've graduated in the past 5 years, I think, you can get some help supporting going to convention by applying for one of those grants. Katie's going to be an excellent resource if you have direct questions for that, but there's also information available online. So rather than talk your head off all night, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know who's going to be leading the ceremony. So serving as justice tonight, we have Jen Remare, and Jen Remare is in the Boston Alumni chapter. Don't give me just 1 second here. I'm so sorry. And she's in the Boston Alumni chapter from the Frankfurter chapter. She's a trustee on the Phi Alpha Delta International Foundation, and she serves as the foundation secretary. She's also on the host committee with me, so I'm glad I get to spend some time with her soon. Our vice justice tonight is Dan McDowell, who also serves as an associate tribune on the International Tribunal and joined P.A.D all the way back in law school at the Watson chapter. Our clerk tonight is Michelle Isherwood from the Boston Alumni chapter and the Humphrey chapter. Michelle is a trustee on the Phi Alpha Delta International Foundation and serves as the foundation vice chair. If you get to meet her at convention, you get to talk to her. Talk to her about her compliance dogs. They are the cutest thing in the entire world, and you would have a great time talking about them. Our treasurer is Michael Knoeller, who's also a trustee on the Phi Alpha Delta International Foundation, and he serves as the foundation treasurer. Michael is a member of the Milwaukee Alumni chapter and the LaFollette chapter. Serving as Marshal is Elizabeth Rall, who's the director for District 33. She is that includes Pittsburgh. She's a member of the convention host committee and a member of the Reed chapter. And last but not least, we have Mr. Curtis Anderson, who's a member of the International Advisory Board. Curtis served as the International Justice from 2002 to 2004, and he's a member of the Reading chapter and the Ross chapter. I will now go ahead and turn it over. Thank you so much. Jen.
Thank you, Bethany, and I'm definitely looking forward to working with you on the host committee and seeing you in Pittsburgh in a few short months now. Thank you all for being here. The purpose of this meeting is the initiation of new members into our fraternity and chapter. This is a proud and happy occasion for the International Chapter, as the benefits of membership in Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International and active participation in fraternity activities will now be possible for a new group of members. On behalf of the chapter, I extend a cordial welcome to our prospective members and their guests.
Justice Remare, I am pleased to present the following new members for membership in the Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International. We also have Olivia Jarvis from DePaul University Pre-Law Chapter, Jamil Karoma from Christopher Newport University Pre-Law Chapter, Oliver King from DePaul University Pre-Law Chapter, Eric Ocampo from DePaul University Pre-Law Chapter, Elizabeth Ashdown from University of Colorado Boulder Pre-Law Chapter, and Seth Gilbert from Westchester University Pre-Law Chapter. I request that they be admitted into membership of Phi Alpha Delta so that the bond of fraternalism, which is the essence of Phi Alpha Delta, may be extended to each of them.
Thank you, Sister Rall. You have been invited to join us in the membership of Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International. Before we proceed, however, there is a duty which the laws of the fraternity lay upon me. I must place before you certain matters of which we request your deepest consideration. Phi Alpha Delta offers you an opportunity to translate an ideal into the practical side of your professional life. As aspiring members of Phi Alpha Delta, you must assume certain obligations and loyally fulfill them. This being so, in fairness to you and to ourselves, some indication of these obligations should necessarily be given to you at this time. The fact that you are here together is symbolic of our fraternity. With a common purpose and united by that bond which is Phi Alpha Delta, we aid each other in finding the way to honorable professional service within the legal profession. United by that bond, we can achieve much for ourselves, for our profession, and for humanity. The attributes of integrity, compassion, and courage, complemented by professional service, are fundamental principles of Phi Alpha Delta and the indispensable ingredients of the character of a true lawyer. The other officiating officers here with me will now address you concerning these attributes.
Integrity is one of the indispensable attributes of the legal profession. It is that characteristic which makes a lawyer's service acceptable before the tribunals of our land. It is that unchanging spirit of fidelity to principles which makes it impossible for a true lawyer to mislead a court, distort the rule of law announced in a decided case, or deceive a client as to the strength or weakness of their cause. It is that undeviating loyalty to truth which makes it impossible for one lawyer to mislead another as to the status of a matter, the availability of witnesses, or the merits of a cause. It is that subordination of one's own personal gain or an advantage for one's client to a higher principle which makes candor a habit and a lawyer's word a universally accepted bond. Integrity makes of each lawyer a custodian of those high principles of the legal profession which ensure our heritage of human freedoms, individual liberties, and equal justice under the law for all of our citizens. To tolerate the abridgment of these principles is to forfeit the right to declare that one is of the law, a lawyer.
Compassion and courage are two additional principles which every lawyer must possess. Compassion leads a lawyer to accept the cause of the unfortunate, the underprivileged, and those who are the object of scorn and public disfavor. Courage brings the lawyer to press these causes and to defend the rights of these persons with full abilities and a stout heart. Compassion and courage are essential if a lawyer is to be a true servant of the law for all the people. One who would serve the law and attempt less than complete loyalty to these principles is unworthy of the status of a lawyer and of membership in this fraternity.
In conjunction with the principles of integrity, compassion, and courage, and deriving strength from them, is another which is required. This principle is professional service. Professional service is of vital importance in our ever-changing world and increasingly complex society. Professional competence is the capstone of a lawyer's essential structure of principles and virtues. Public trust demands the enlightened leadership which lawyers are especially well qualified to provide. If the legal profession is to fulfill its responsibilities to society, we, as lawyers, must assume the obligations of effective and competent professional service and must discharge those responsibilities with the utmost of our abilities. Only then will our free institutions survive and the principle of equal justice under law become a reality for all of humanity. Competent and effective professional service in every form is a proper complement to a lawyer's indispensable attributes of integrity, compassion, and courage, and is the essence of Phi Alpha Delta.
So that you may better understand your responsibilities as a member of Phi Alpha Delta, the officiating Vice Justice will now explain to you the symbolic meaning of our coat of arms.
This image is the coat of arms of our fraternity. An understanding of the symbols of our coat of arms will give you a better understanding of the principles and ideals of Phi Alpha Delta and of your responsibilities as a member of our fraternity. The Book of Law, located on the right side of the shield, typifies that immortal and undying spirit, which is in truth the law, to which all precedents must bow and all rules conform. May this spirit, which is the law, inspire you with an ever-abiding faith in the rule of law, which is worthy of your loyalty and support. The lamp of learning located above the shield signifies that only through a great industry and application will you true learning be acquired. To be worthy of the title, a lawyer, you must be diligent in your application to the study of law throughout your legal career. Only then will your accomplishments serve as a true guide to those who follow you. The scales of justice located on the left side of the shield represents the impartiality of the rule of law, which gives to every individual true justice without favor or distinction. You are of the law, a lawyer, only if you can judge with impartiality and fairness to all. The scroll located below the shield contains the name of our fraternity, Phi Alpha Delta, and signifies that fraternal bond which unites us into a cohesive force for the advancement of the legal profession and our fraternity. Our name, Phi Alpha Delta, connotes the phrase Philos Adelphos Dikaios, translated into our contemporary language. Philos Adelphos Dikaios stands for justice is a dear brother, and in another translation, love of humanity and justice for all. Our name thus signifies the two basic precepts upon which our fraternity is founded: fraternalism, the joining together in a common spirit, and justice, that ideal which we have chosen the legal profession must preserve by exemplifying the principles of integrity, compassion, and courage, and by devoting our time and talent to professional service. The column which supports and sustains all the other symbols on the coat of arms represents our membership, strong, diverse, and innovative, whose duty is to maintain the principles and ideals of Phi Alpha Delta and to pass them on intact to those who follow us.
So that you may have a better understanding of the principles upon which our fraternity was founded, the officiating clerk will now address you.
Phi Alpha Delta is unique in that it is the only law fraternity which was founded as a result of a legal controversy. It has grown to its size and structure today from a series of events commencing in 1897. On November 4th, 1897, the Illinois Supreme Court, without prior notice, adopted a rule retroactively affecting all new candidates for admission to the bar. In response, a group of law students formed the Law Student League, with the avowed purpose of obtaining an exemption for those students who had commenced their legal education prior to the adoption of this rule. The League was successful in obtaining passage by the Illinois legislature of an act exempting these students from its provisions. That organization of students was then formally organized in 1897 as Lambda Epsilon Fraternity, Lambda standing for law and Epsilon standing for equity. It soon became apparent that this type of organization had universal appeal and its benefits should be made available to all members of the legal profession. Accordingly, Lambda Epsilon Fraternity was dissolved by unanimous action of the Third Biennial Convention, meeting at the Colonial Tavern in South Haven, Michigan. On the next day, July 27th, 1902, the Articles of South Haven, which were to be the foundation of Phi Alpha Delta, were adopted by those in attendance. After a series of meetings were held in Chicago, the Articles, a Constitution, ritual, and rules to govern the new organization were formally adopted. The name Phi Alpha Delta was chosen and denoted a continuing bond of friendship among members of the Law Student League and Lambda Epsilon fraternity and of the new fraternity. By 1910, the number of chapters had grown to 23. Then next year, our first 4 alumni chapters were chartered, demonstrating a continuity in membership and service to our profession. In 1969, the fraternity chartered its first law school chapters outside of the boundaries of the United States with the establishment of chapters in Canada and Puerto Rico. In 1972, Phi Delta Delta Law Fraternity, the leading fraternity for women, was by joint resolution merged into Phi Alpha Delta, and 5,000 leading women judges, lawyers, and educators and law students became members of Phi Alpha Delta. Thus growing from a tiny nucleus originating in a legal controversy at the dawn of the 20th century, Phi Alpha Delta has achieved a position of preeminence among the law fraternities. As you become members of Phi Alpha Delta, we ask your aid and support to ensure that our fraternity and its principles will endure into the future, as it has in the past, with the aid of those who have preceded you as members of Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International.
You have now heard our statement of those principles and ideals which must dominate the professional activities of a member of Phi Alpha Delta, and indeed of every member of the legal profession. To signify your acceptance of these principles and ideas as your own, I will now administer to you the oath of membership in Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International. Please raise your right hand. I will now read the oath of membership in its entirety. I solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will support the laws and legal precepts of my country and of its legal entities, that I will respect their courts and obey their legal mandates, that I will be just and honorable in all my professional activities and will be faithful to those whom I represent, and that I will support the policies and principles of Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International insofar as they do not conflict with my religious or civil duties. In just a moment, you will receive an alert on your screen that says the host would like you to unmute. If you are in a quiet place, please unmute yourself. I will then ask, do you so promise and swear? And you will answer, yes. Okay.
I do.
I do.
Good. Okay.
do.
So
I do.
is everyone unmuted?
I
Okay.
I
Hold
do.
on.
I do.
I do.
I
Wait,
do.
wait, wait, wait. I'm going to say, do you so promise and swear? And you will all say yes. Are we ready? Do you so promise and swear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. In this virtual world, there is not an official roll of the chapter for you to sign. Normally, this would signify your formal entry into the membership of this chapter. Instead, your names will be virtually entered into the roll of Phi Alpha Delta in your respective chapters. If we were in person, you would also now receive the fraternal greeting of the fraternity, which consists of a normal handshake with the index finger extended along the wrist of the other member, touching the pulse. This greeting is symbolic of the bond of fraternalism which Phi Alpha Delta exemplifies. As we cannot shake hands with you across the Zoom screen, please instead view this photo showing the fraternal handshake being given by past international justice, Stan Cone. If you're not familiar with Brother Cone, he was international justice from 1984 to 1985. Sadly, he was killed halfway through his term as international justice. At each convention, we hold a reception which is named after Stan. The annual Outstanding Chapter competition of our law chapters is also named in his honor. Members of Phi Alpha Delta, I take you all to witness that the new members here present have been duly initiated into our fraternity and chapter, have taken the oath of membership, and will be signed into the official roll of their chapters. Now, by virtue of the authority vested in me, I declare you members of Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International and of your respective chapters of the fraternity. I hereby invest you with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. On behalf of all members of Phi Alpha Delta, I extend to you a cordial welcome into our fraternity. We are happy to have you join with us in furthering the principles and ideals of Phi Alpha Delta. These are not mere words. Integrity, compassion, courage, professionalism, service, diversity, and innovation. They are the core values by which we and Phi Alpha Delta are guided in our day-to-day interactions with our colleagues in the legal profession. Remain ever mindful of them as you pursue your career in our noble profession and live your life accordingly. I now recognize Brother Curtis Anderson, who is present as a representative of the alumni of Phi Alpha Delta.
Thank you, Jen. Good evening, everyone. As a member of the alumni of Phi Alpha Delta and representing all of the alumni members, I extend to each of you, our new members, a fraternal welcome into our fraternity. To you, our new members, we offer the assistance of the alumni in the achievement of your goals. I urge each of you to seek the aid and guidance of the alumni of Phi Alpha Delta whenever we can be of service. You'll find us ever ready to be of help to you. The older members present, I commend these new members and urge you to make them welcome in our midst so that they may soon realize the true and full significance of membership in our fraternity. And I hope to see all of you at the convention in Pittsburgh.
Same,
Justice
brother.
Moore.
The development and maintenance of a special relationship between the student and alumni members of Phi Alpha Delta is of vital importance and is a unique characteristic of our fraternity. I commend to you the greetings of our alumnus member. Brother Anderson, on behalf of all officiants and Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity, please accept our sincere appreciation for your presence and participation, which will serve as a reminder to each of us the bond of fraternalism which exists between all members of Phi Alpha Delta. To the new members, your initiation into Phi Alpha Delta is now completed, and you are now full members with us in Phi Alpha Delta. I charge each of you to hold foremost in mind the principles and ideals to which you have subscribed today. With your help, Phi Alpha Delta can remain a real, living force for the advancement of our profession and so of humanity. We have gathered here today to advance in this meeting the principles and ideals of Phi Alpha Delta by the initiation of the new members present here with us. The admission of our new members will ensure the future of Phi Alpha Delta and of our chapter, and we are indeed proud to have them join us in Phi Alpha Delta. In adjourning this meeting, let us do so with the firm resolve that our new members will be made welcome into our midst as full members of this fraternity in their chapters. I now declare this meeting of Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International adjourned. Thank you all for participating. And now, before we really end, some words from our International Justice, Nicole Britta.
Thank you, Jen. First and foremost, congratulations. Welcome to all our new members. For those familiar faces in the room, good to see you. Yes, round of applause. Thank you especially to our officiants. I appreciate each and every one of you for making time in your busy schedules to be here with us tonight and to officiate the ceremony. So thank you. To the host committee, most of whom were represented here tonight. There were a few missing. Thank you again for being willing to welcome our brothers, sisters, and siblings to our 65th Biennial Convention and Leadership Conference in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For those who don't know, the dates are July 31st through August the 4th. I do hope you will join us. We're very excited about the convention. We have lots of great activities planned. As was mentioned at the beginning, we'll have workshops. We have some great speakers lined up. New and exciting for this convention, we're doing some networking sessions. We have plans to go to a baseball game if that's your thing. And certainly Pittsburgh has a lot to offer, as Dr. Hughes mentioned to us at the top of the call. So I do hope you will join me. If you're interested in learning more, come to the social that you'll hear about shortly afterwards. We'll have a ton of alumni there who are happy to share their personal convention stories. I could share many, but I'll share them in the session as well. We also have a special surprise in there, so don't miss out on the chance to come. It'll be more informal, have an opportunity to network virtually, and we'll also have an opportunity to talk to some of the alumni who were here tonight. I'd also like to extend a special thank you to the executive office. without whom nothing would be possible, but certainly tonight would not have been possible. Thank you especially to Katie Gibbs, our Director of Membership and Chapter Operations, as well as Summer Stevens, our communications person. I'm forgetting your name, your official title, Summer. I'm so sorry. She is one of our newest employees. But I'm very excited that you all were here with us and able to enjoy this piece of the special bond of fraternalism. So I do hope you'll join us. And with that, I will turn it over to Katie, who does have some parting remarks for you.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Phi Alpha Delta. On behalf of the executive office, I would like to extend to all of you a fraternal welcome to Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity International. Congratulations! Congratulations on your initiation into the preeminent legal fraternity in the world. Thank you to all of our officiants tonight for your time and service to Phi Alpha Delta. As we mentioned before, if anybody needs their certificate and pin, please reach out to me. I can be reached at katie@pad.org. And as we end the ceremony tonight, we are immediately going to proceed with our post-initiation social. It's going to be right here in this Zoom room, so you don't need to go anywhere. If your evening has come to a close, you are welcome to leave, but we hope you all stay on this Zoom meeting and network. We have Phi Alpha Delta members from all levels of membership here tonight. We have our International Foundation trustees. We have International Executive Board members here. So if you are someone who wants to learn more about Phi Alpha Delta and the history, you are welcome to stay. The ceremony is officially concluded, and I am going to lead it, send it over to Aaron to take over our social.